Welcome to Latte with a Lawyer, a podcast dedicated to bringing you the stories of some of America's most successful lawyers, figuring out what makes them tick, how they creatively solve problems, and how others aspiring to be them can follow in their footsteps.
Okay, guys, welcome to another episode of Latte with a Lawyer. Today we've got an interesting guest here from the land of Kentucky. And her name is Christine Stanley, and she's from the firm of Quinteros, Prato, Wood, and Boyer. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. And so you're in Kentucky. Let me ask you a question. I know they like bourbon out there, but like, what's your morning beverage of choice? Don't tell me it's bourbon. How do you get started?
Some days I wish it was bourbon. No, I'm a kind of a seasonal person. And so right now in spring, I'm obsessed with this coconut lavender latte. But then as we get into the fall, I'm a big pumpkin spice person, and there's a Christmas one that comes out too. But right now it's coconut and lavender.
Very nice. Very nice. And there's caffeine in that, so that gets you.
Yes.
Good.
Lots of caffeine.
All right. That's good. We all need some, I hear that caffeine is good for athletic performance. So I think it's probably good for intellectual pursuits as well.
I hope so.
So tell us what kind of work you do, and a little bit about that.
Sure. I'm a healthcare defense attorney. And so all of my clients are either medical entities or medical providers.
Okay.
And some of my clients are actually insurance folks that provide insurance to these medical entities and medical providers. And so we run the gamut. Most of my cases are negligence cases. I do have, one construction case, supremacy liability case, and I do a little bit of employment for the same folks. And then I have perhaps one car accident case, but my bread and butter is 100% healthcare.
Okay. I mean, the car accident case, is that on the defense or the plaintiff side? You do a little both?
Well, it's a defense, but it's just when they have two drivers and another firm is conflicted out, we usually just say, yeah, we can do it too. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're in the healthcare business, and you're strictly on the defense side trying to.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. So you must have been busy then with all the stuff related to COVID, I would imagine, right? Because that was in the news quite a bit.
Super busy. We thought, incorrectly, might I add, we thought that, with COVID, the lawsuits would come down, because the nurses were our heroes, the doctors were our heroes. And so we were kind of like, are the suits going to come down? But no, they actually doubled. I guess people need an answer and they need a reason. And so I would say we do have some protections from COVID lawsuits, but those protections are only in the instance that it wasn't egregious, right? There was no abuse. And so a lot of folks are like, well, we don't know whether there was abuse or not. We weren't allowed to go in and see our family. And so they're just saying, I'm going to file a complaint and I'm going to say that it's abuse or neglect or egregious so that I can figure out what really happened. So we have a lot of cases this year and last year.
Interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. And did any of those prevail on the other side? Did you settle those?
Not yet. So no. So our, with healthcare, gosh, the courts have been backed up. So the first couple of cases that actually went to trial were cases from 2019 and 2020 and 2021 that were backlogged because all the courts were closed.
Got it.
So we're not set to try our first kind of COVID case until later this year. And no, we're not. I mean, we haven't settled them yet, mostly because, I mean, it was COVID and, no one knew what was going on. No one purposely did anything that I have seen. Now, I haven't seen every case in Kentucky. I haven't seen every case in the United States, but no one purposely did anything to hurt anyone during that time. We were all trying to figure it out. I
Oh,
mean,
sure.
yeah. And we didn't want to, some of the laws and the guidelines came all the way from the CDC. And so we're not gonna mess with, telling the CDC that they don't know what they're doing. So a lot of our entities and providers, they're pretty strong on that. They're like, you know what, we followed the CDC guidelines pretty religiously because they were instructing us how to keep the whole country safe.
Yeah.
And so we're going to go in with that.
Got it. So are most of the cases you're defending, are they like standard of care, negligence?
Yes.
Yeah, they are. Okay.
Yes, they are. You got it right.
I got it right. So yeah, no, I actually had a brother that was in a nursing facility during COVID too. And that was interesting, like just getting in there. It was interesting because it was not consistent. Like one day when I went to visit, they had us put on, full gown, protective gear, everything just to go in. And the next day I went back to visit again, never even mentioned that.
Yeah. I mean, it changed like daily what was coming down. And so they had to navigate all of that. Now they did make a really great rule, which is you can sign up, anyone, as long as the resident or the patient says it's okay, can sign up as your person. And that person will be allowed in no matter what the circumstances are. And so I think that is really great because I think people, depression was high during COVID for a lot of folks that were in nursing homes, especially. And so part of that is not being able to see your family. And so that is great. And I think people not being able to see or talk to their nurses or talk to their doctors is what really increased the lawsuits. I mean, some of these are totally like, yes, I can see where, there might be an issue. And some of them are like, you just didn't know. And now you're trying to find out. And so, and that's okay. And that's okay too. And we'll let you do that. But, that is not what the legal kind of environment is used to and is for, right? If you need to use that for like, not frivolous case and like something actually happened. But I think that when people don't know, I mean, they have a right to know. And so that they're using that avenue to get it.
Got it. So have you always practiced this kind of law?
Yes.
Okay. How'd you get into this? Like why healthcare law?
So when I was young, I've been in healthcare since I was in high school. I had 2 research papers published by the time I graduated. And I actually had gone to our alma mater, pre-med. And science was really hard.
Yeah, that's right. Wait, what'd you study there? What'd you study at Carnegie Mellon?
I studied, let me plug in real quick.
Okay.
I studied technical writing for science and medical communications.
Okay. What college is that sit within?
That is within, it sits in Hines.
Hines. I was going to guess Hines. Yeah.
Or no, but maybe.
It's probably one of those interdisciplinary.
It's an
programs.
Interdisciplinary degree. That's right. And so it's a bachelor's of science, right? So I still have to take a whole bunch of science classes. I went up to level 200 in computer science,
Okay.
And so, but it might be Hines or the other college. I should know.
Mellon College of Science. Mellon College.
Well, because they changed the name.
Yeah.
No, it sits with English too, because it's a writing degree. Really, what's that English department?
HSS.
Yes,
Dietrich.
Dietrich. That's the new name. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Got it.
Yeah, and so I switched to that major because I had all these sciences, and I was just like, And I told myself, I don't know if this is true, but I was like, if I'm struggling this hard in like organic chem and biology, maybe maybe going to be a doctor isn't right for me. And CMU had a journal there called the Triple Helix, which was science, technology, and the law. And I got in with them, and I was just like, oh, okay, this is really, really cool. I took a year off, and I went back home, and I worked in a law firm just to see what was going on, and see if I really liked it. And UK recruited me, and they gave me like a provost fellowship to actually
Oh, great.
go down there. And I was just like, yeah, this is great. Because you remember 2008, we had a crisis.
Oh, that's right. We had a big crisis.
On our
Sure.
hands.
Yeah, that's right.
We had a huge crisis. And so everyone and their mom was going back to graduate school for something. And so it was really hard to kind of navigate, well, how am I going to pay for this? And how am I going to, justify this? But the provost fellowship included some scholarship money. And so it's like, you know what? I'll just try it. Why not? Let's get down there. But I always had healthcare in my heart. And, I dabbled in a couple of other things. But I always wanted to go into healthcare because it's just my passion. I love science, and I love medicine, and I love technology.
Oh, that's interesting. But you said you're from New York City. What? And
Yes.
Where'd you go to high school in New York City? That's tough to go to high school in New York City, right?
I went to St. Francis Preparatory School.
Where is that?
It's in Fresh Meadows in Queens.
Oh, it's in Queens. Okay, got it. Is that where you're from, Queens?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Okay. And again, that's a big change to go from Queens to Lexington, Kentucky.
It is. It's not, it's not that. So Lexington, I will say, I've been here for 13 years now. And it's been such a, it's just been so interesting to watch it grow into a bigger city, right? So I think New York is established. And so when you were born there, you're like, this is it. I mean, this is the epitome of city.
That's right.
It still changes, we get new restaurants all the time, and we still get some things, but it's been so great, like being in a smaller city and then watching it grow and being a part of that growth. And kind of being a lawyer here too, because you can advocate for a lot of things that you want to see. And my 18 years in New York City, I'm like, hey guys, we need some more green space. We can't be another concrete, can't be another concrete jungle. We're too small, So yeah, you can really kind of make your mark here. And I think in other smaller cities, you have that too. And especially during the pandemic, it's a lot cheaper than living in New York. And so we've had an influx of people. Come on down.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad to hear it. You're flexible. It sounds like you're adventurous and flexible, and you made it work.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, good. Anyone else in your family?
You know me.
Is that true? Am I describing you well?
Yep, you described me to the T.
Oh, good. All right. So I'm perceptive. Anyone else in the family in law or medicine or anything like that?
I'm the first generation attorney in my immediate family. One of my cousins married, two of my cousins married attorneys. And then my other cousin's dad, who lives in Haiti. So my family's from Haiti.
Okay.
He was an attorney in Haiti. Yeah, so we have a few of them sprinkled around, but I guess if you count all the married into and my one attorney in Haiti, I guess I'm the fourth one. But
good.
I'm the only litigator. Yeah, I'm the only litigator. The other two don't practice. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So do you do litigate cases? You go to trial sometimes?
Oh yeah.
You do?
Yeah. So
tell me about that. Give me a case that you worked on that was really cool and interesting.
So I've been really lucky. I graduated law school 10 years ago,
Okay.
and I've got to go to 2 trials, 1 arbitration, and that's
Okay.
really, really rare.
It is.
Especially it's I mean, I still know friends that I graduated with that are litigators that have not gone to trial not one time. I just got lucky. There's nothing, that I did. I just got lucky. And we had clients that were willing to get that risk, right? Because in Kentucky, we don't have any tort reform. So, we can get $23 million verdicts from our jurors. We can get 50, 100. I mean, there's no ceiling, there's no cap.
Okay.
And so a lot of the clients here justifiably can't take that risk, right? They
Right.
rather just settle cases to make sure that they are kind of managing that pool of money. But I got really lucky. And so with my former boss, my former employer, we worked for a case, and then we actually got a defense verdict.
Oh, nice.
And yeah, it was it was intense. It was tiring. It was just he and I. He's a solo practitioner. And so it was just the 2 of us with our amazing support staff. And we got it. And there was one issue that we took up on appeal, and then we also won that as well. So that was an exciting kind of time in both of our lives, to be able to do it and actually get the justice that we thought we deserved, but who knew, right? It's up to the jury. So we don't really
Yeah.
know.
Did you like being in front of the
But
jury?
yeah.
Did you like being in front
It
of the
was
jury?
great. Yeah.
How'd you
It's
prepare for
fun.
that?
They're funny.
They're funny. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
day and night. I mean, you prepare for trial starting, well, the rule of thumb is the moment you get a case in, you work it like you're going to trial. But leading up to it, the last 2 months, I mean, you are really dotting your I's and crossing your T's. I mean, it's weekends, it's nights, it's intense. It's a lot of redoing what just to make sure that you're doing a proper analysis, kind of anticipating your opposing counsel's thoughts and being like, okay, but what if they bring this up? What are we going to say? What are we going to do? Or what evidence do we have to defend against that? Or who's the better witness? And it's talking to all of our witnesses, making sure they're prepared. Lots of herding, like, okay, we might need you on this day. What's your cell phone number? Do you need prep? Do you need an excuse from work? What do you need? And making sure they feel comfortable, making sure they have their suit prepared to look presentable, making sure they have great eye contact, making sure our experts are in order, and making sure they're prepared and ready to go. Because the document should speak for themselves, the witnesses should speak for themselves. Us attorneys, we're just trying to put everything together into a nice story,
Right.
but the other folks are doing the hard work, really.
Yeah. So how do you do mock trials? Do you do focus groups? How do you test your theory?
Sometimes it depends on the client. Those things cost money, and so if they're willing to kind of put up the money to do so, yeah. We test them in our office, 100%.
Okay.
But if they want to do a full mock trial or something like that, there are lots of companies out there that provide that service that we can use. We could also submit kind of a case summary and submit it to a kind of a panel of jurors that are just randomly chosen. And then we can get those results as well. And then another company does that. They they pay just folks that they find. And they're like, hey, what you have to do is read this summary and, tell us how you would, vote and rule and how much money you would give. And so, yeah, we've done those sometimes, but again, they cost money. And so we don't get to do that all the time.
That's right. You see, you're budget constrained, right? By your.
Yes.
Yeah. But again, you're trying to mitigate risk. So if you need to, spend some money to make sure that you minimize the risk, you have to do that sometimes, right?
That's absolutely correct.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's really it's just the other side of the coin, because you got these aggressive guys on the plaintiff side, right? And they're looking for
Yes.
money, particularly if there's no ceiling on how much they can ask for.
Hmm.
Then that actually makes it
Yeah.
more interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. And, sometimes we get, and that's a little bit harder to kind of navigate, right? Because they go for emotion for the most part. Generally speaking, they go for emotion. They tug at their strings and say, oh, blah, 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 and all this stuff. We usually tend to stick to the facts, right?
Right.
Standard of care is duty, breach, causation, injury. And so we're going to say, like, I know sometimes it's like, hey, I know they got hurt, but it's not due to anyone's fault, right? No one did something in particular that fell below the standard of care to cause this injury or something like that. But, if you're going on emotion, you don't need that. You can just say, this person is really hurt and they deserve to have some money. And so we have to kind of be better. And we're doing a lot more of that storytelling to go with those basic black and white facts and to kind of educate folks on what standard of care means and whether, someone actually was at fault.
Well, I mean, at the end of the day, well, you're not going in front of a jury very often, but when you are, right, they're reacting emotionally to things, right? Your story, the way you present it. So, for sure. So it's very important the way you tell your story, right? It's not just based on the facts.
No, you have to have a good story.
You got to have a good story. Okay. Interesting. Very good. So let me just ask you a couple more questions I'm curious about. So aside from your love of healthcare and science, was there anything else that sort of influenced your journey, why you became a lawyer? Was anyone you looked up to? Is there anyone in particular that's an influencer in your life?
Yeah, my mom is like my number one go-to. If when I called her and I was just like, hey, I know we worked really hard to get here to Carnegie Mellon, but now I don't know what to do. And so she was really instrumental in like being like, it's not all for nothing. Look at all the other degrees that you can have, and maybe you can really get into the law and defend your classmates, right? So, and I was like, you know what, that's a great idea. And so I went forward with it, and I had no kind of, since I didn't know I wanted to go to law school, it wasn't like I have a whole list of folks prior to that I was like looking up to. A lot of my friends, like they wanted to be lawyers since they were 5 years old. And I just wanted to be a lawyer since sophomore year of college. So I just applied and went where I ended up. But in law school and throughout like my legal career, I mean, there's so many, just so many women, especially that have like paved the way that I have visibly seen. Like our current dean of the law school, she's the first woman dean that she started maybe a year or two ago, but she was also my professor. And so
great.
I saw her kind of forge that path for herself and now for others if they want to do that. And that's Dean Mary Davis. There's Jennifer Bowen, who's also an associate dean, who was my professor, who is raised through the ranks of academia and have done that. There are clients of mine. So when I started, it's a rat race, right?
Yeah.
And so there are clients of mine that trusted me and has continued to trust me. And I've moved firms and they've changed positions, but even in that, I still look up to them. I still follow them, keep in touch. We grab lunch, and they're doing great work, for the industry now, like they're champions and advocates for the industry instead of just that one client. And so there's so many. I can list them all. But,
no, that's great. But
yeah.
Kentucky's an interesting state, right? It's a conservative place, right?
Yes. Yes.
So how does that impact your career? And does that in any way?
Yeah, it does. So it depends that for, off the top of my head, that impacts jury selection mostly,
Jury
right?
selection. Okay.
So yeah, because those are the people that, you're trying to tell your story to and convince them, of anything that you want them to be convinced of. And so whether it's liberal, like for example, Lexington, Louisville are college towns.
Right.
And so they tend to be a little bit more liberal because the students are figuring out themselves and what they want. And, a lot of times that leans left.
Yep.
However, in other towns, west or east or right in the middle, they're a little bit more conservative. And so that means they may be more religious, they may be more right-leaning, and so that's how you start weaving your story and you tailor it to the people that you're talking to. And so that comes up kind of immediately when you say that Kentucky's red. Career-wise, I think that the Kentucky is a mandatory bar. And so once you graduate, you pass the bar exam, you must be a part of the Kentucky Bar Association, which is different in each state. And I think that the Kentucky Bar has done a really, really good job of bringing us together. It doesn't matter if you are left, right. It doesn't matter if you are plaintiffs or defense. We are all advocates. And the purpose, and we all have a purpose in this arena, right? I would be no one if there were no plaintiffs attorneys, right? They have to file the suit for me to defend them.
Right.
And so I think that, Kentucky is a strange place, but we also have a mandatory bar that allows us to continue to have those conversations and talk to each other and make sure that we are doing right by our clients no matter what.
Got it. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, it's good stuff. I mean, I found through all the conversation I've had that people are pretty collegial, right? They work together. And that's good. It reminds me in higher ed, it was the same kind of thing. Even though they're focused on their own thing, they're very cooperative, it seems like. Seems like that's the same thing within the legal profession too. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, I would agree. And, you always have some rogue folks who do not play by those rules.
Right.
And, they make it, I can think of some, and they just make it such more stressful, I guess, and less fun.
Yeah.
Right. I like talking. Right before I, spoke to you, I was talking to another opposing counsel about a case that we're trying to settle right now. And so it was fun to talk. It was fun to talk to him. I caught up. He told me about his vacation. We had a good talk. And then, obviously we talked about work too, and with those other folks who don't like that or don't allow themselves to be that way, it's just all business all the time. No fun, no nothing.
Yeah.
And
well, you're probably good at softening them up. You soften them up.
Just a little bit.
That's funny. You got to have fun. I mean, I don't care what you're doing. If you're not having fun doing it, then it's a chore.
Exactly. Right? And we have to do this for the next 30 years, right?
That's right.
And it's usually the same people doing the same stuff. So it's kind of like a marriage. I mean, you gotta like the people you work with.
That's right. That's correct. So let me ask you a question about technology in your practice. Does the firm use technology? You leverage it? What are your views on it? Anything else you want to say about technology?
Yeah, I love technology. Technology helped us keep all of our jobs, right? So during COVID, cases couldn't go to trial, but they still moved forward, for example, with
depositions
and hearings all through Zoom. And so I think they're great. And I think they're great in an emergency situation moving forward. I do believe that technology takes away a little bit from the human element. even, I had 2 hearings this morning in 2 different courts on opposite sides of Kentucky. And so it was really nice for me to be able to appear via Zoom. But again, it's also really nice to get FaceTime with your judge. It's also really nice to go to the clerk's office and say thank you, and to hand things in person, and to ask people how they're doing, and to see your opponent. You're sitting next to them in the courtroom.
Right.
And I think that also over Zoom, people got a little more aggressive, right? Because you're not with me in person. I'm not just giving you a side eye or saying, seriously.
Well, listen, let's wrap it up here, because I think we spent a good bit of time here. So if anyone wants to reach you and learn more about what you do or speak to you, what's the best way?
Sure, they can email me at christine.stanley@qpwblaw.com, or they can find me on LinkedIn, Facebook. I don't have a Twitter. Well, I don't have a Twitter, and they can call my cell phone, 917-697-9165. I used to have a Twitter when I was in law school, but I'm locked out of it. I don't remember my password, and I use my law school email address, which is no longer in service. So I'm trying to get back on, but I can't.
All right, you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. Well, thank you for spending time with us today.
You're welcome.
Again, this is Christine Stanley with the law firm of Quinteros, Prieto, Wood and Boyer. And this show is sponsored by EmotionTrac. And we use artificial intelligence to gather nonverbal insights that people use for case prep for mediation and trials. Thank you very much, Christine.
Thank you so much. Have a good weekend.
Thank you.